Another group that concluded today was, of course, Group E, and this was so finely poised when you looked at it coming into the final day. All of the teams level on points coming into it, and it finished that way as well. In the end, Romania win the group. Belgium go through as runners-up. Slovakia squeeze through as one of the four best-placed third teams, and Ukraine miss out. But let's start with the game between Ukraine and Belgium. It finished goalless, and it's not as if, Craig, Belgium even went out to try and win this group. Are you surprised to see that? Because if they'd gone out for the win in this game, it could have been a very different finish in the table for them.
Well, I'm not surprised to see their performances, Romania apart, because I don't, and I've said before this competition started, I think they're a side in decline, even with some younger players coming through. But they are uninspiring at best. And I was almost willing Ukraine to score in the end, and they had their chances, particularly near the end. The only reason Belgium were able to get what they needed was because Ukraine are lightweight in the final third. You know, they're lightweight in the final third. Dovbyk has lost the form of the first 6 months of the La Liga season when he was at Girona. And the rest of the side are kind of limited. Now, they did cause Belgium some problems, but Belgium are lucky they're through. They are not a good side to watch. They're lethargic. You know, Doku's hitting a miss on the left. You know, De Bruyne is trying to carry the whole side, but he looks heavy-legged and frustrated. And they get France. They get France, and if France turn up, and when we get to the business end, the French normally get their finger out because they really enjoy the big game pressure, then I can't see this Belgium side are going to get what their just desserts, and I think that's to be sent home. And I think it starts from the manager with team selection, particularly on match day 1, and it's worked its way all the way through. And they were, you know, had Ukraine today in that second half had a bit more guile and quality in the final third, this Belgium side would have been beaten.
Sorry, on paper, this should have been a non-contest, in all honesty. And while Belgium go through, and Kevin De Bruyne in his post-game press conferences, it was saying, well, we got through. Had we taken chances and conceded and found ourselves out of the tournament, what would the criticism at that point been like? And while he has a point, the fact is we're talking about Belgium against Ukraine, a very talented Belgium side. So why does it take a gamble? Why do Belgium need to gamble to beat Ukraine is a question that I would then be asking Kevin De Bruyne. And the thing for me is, and it kind of summed up, that comment from Kevin De Bruyne kind of summed up the feeling around Belgium. Is this accepting of just being average by a very talented Belgian team? That all that matters is we get through. It doesn't matter, you know, we can't play well. It certainly is absolutely bemusing. No, I think that attitude and kind of given the performances, more to the point, I don't see Belgium going much further, and rightly so. This is a very talented team that have just decided they're average and no more.
And we've seen our Mark Ogden as well tweeting out, Jules, that in Stuttgart today, Kevin De Bruyne was booed when he picked up the Player of the Match award by his own fans, and that the Belgian fans were booing their own players at the end of this game.
Too right. I think if you're a fan, you've travelled all the way from Belgium to Germany, you've seen 3 games, 3 pathetic games, 3 pathetic performances from them. This is the easiest group by far in this whole tournament. And this is what they do. This is what they give us. This 0-0. I mean, you said, Kate, earlier to Craig, they didn't want to win the game. At the end, they've got a corner, and Kevin De Bruyne, of all people, is playing for the 0-0. When they must have known, really, that 0-0 meant France and the harder side of the draw. Why would you settle for a 0-0? Why not trying to go and score and win and then go avoid France to start with, go over Romania, and then end up in the good side of the draw, not the tough side of the draw? It was completely mad from them, and not making any sense at all. And that's what this team has done all through this tournament. Tedesco has been dreadful as a head coach, tactically in his team selections. This hybrid back 3, back 4. We don't really have a left back or left wing back. It's Doku does, we're not really sure what. Tielemans or Nana, not sure what happened to them, but it must be the twin brothers. This is just ridiculous, the level. So now they qualified, and De Bruyne is right. At least they've got that. Okay, it would have been even worse had they not qualified in that group. But now let's see what they can do, because if they don't raise their game, even in the form that the French are right now, there's no context, there's no match there.
Tedesco looks as if he's been out his depth. Jules is right. This group, Belgium should have, even with I don't think they're a particularly good side at the moment, or have been for a while, but they should still have waltzed this group. Yeah. He set the tone in match day 1 with his team selection and the way they went about it. That was the tone set. But they've scrambled through. I am sick and tired already. In this tournament, we've had it with Harry Kane and 1 or 2 others. Now we have it with Kevin De Bruyne. Unwilling to accept the criticism that's coming your way, this time from the crowd. This is big boys' rules here. Why would do you expect your home fans, your own fans, to applaud that drivel? Really? Harry Kane, he expects everybody to toe the line and get behind a rancid England side in this tournament. 2 of the biggest players in European football, Kane and De Bruyne, can't accept that the fans demand more. It's embarrassing. He should have been in that press conference and said, I would have booed if I was watching that. Because it's not good enough. It's not. There is results and there is performance. And they both go hand in hand. And sometimes you clamber to a championship by not playing well. Very unlikely, but sometimes it can happen. But that's at least 2 elite-level players that have come out whinging and crying about criticism that's coming their way. If they don't like it, go and sit on a beach somewhere and let somebody else do it. It's part of the job. We've all had it. It's never going to change. We all get it. We've all deserved it. You put yourself out there. This is the pressure. This is what you need to do. You've got your nation watching. You've got thousands in the stand. You're on TV. You're in the big arena. It's time to stop blubbering about criticism when they don't play well. Because those 2 sides we've talked about and those 2 players are 2 of the more elite-level squads. And they've been the 2 worst countries to watch thus far when we're talking about teams that are supposed to be elite level. It's embarrassing.
What's really tough as well in that group, Jules, is the fact that Ukraine finished level on points with the fellow teams in their group and do not make it on 4 points. The first time in European Championship history that you fail to progress when you've got 4 points in a group. It does feel harsh for them.
Yeah, it does. And to be fair, they played well today at times. Maybe their best performance. In their second game, they won it late. That was a little bit better, but I thought today they played some really good stuff, and I'm not sure about Rebroff as a head coach. Again, going back to those coaches that do some weird things, but at least today there was some sort of improvement. I mean, he went 2 up front to start with. He changed a few things because they had to win the game, and they tried. They were always going to be limited. Let's be honest. Mudryk wasn't there. Not sure exactly why, but they were always going to be a bit limited. It's a shame, and also for everything that it represents for them and what it would have meant for them and for their people if they qualified and continue this adventure that I'm sure back home takes people's mind away from what's happening in their own country. So it's a shame, really. But again, you just haven't been good enough over the 3 games.